Right, and the mirror can be pretty big if you have to access the pearl through the dark world, which tends to happen in some seeds. So usually when I see an early mirror, I just assume I'm going to go somewhere and mirror as a bunny. It's not always the case, but it's not a bad assumption to make. So just a piece of heart in Link's house. We see Korek going for that fake flipper that we discussed, and Plasma Kappa is going to do the south route into Kakariko and get some bombs. Now, the fun thing about the route Korek's taking is you can actually just exit Link's house and do the same thing that Plasma Kappa is doing on the way to town anyway, so it's like a double benefit.
Yeah, I do something. Oh, that is a very good early K for Korek. I happen to do a route that sort of gambles against anything interesting being on the potion shop. So I'm already a little glad I'm not playing this.
Yeah, this is slightly unfortunate unless there's a bomb in one of these chests. Ooh, the flute. That is an awesome early find. That actually accesses, and the hook shot. Okay, Death Mountain is like wide open right now, so that is really great to start.
Yeah, that's going to be a really unfortunate situation for anyone who doesn't get to the potion shop early.
Yeah, of course, the 3 hearts situation is going to be a little dicey with all those rocks, but hey, you got the flute, you can just flute right back, so who cares, right? Hook shot's also great, as you see Korik using for early fast movement.
Yeah, so Plasma Kappa found a very short connector. Even though usually early game connectors are unappealing, when you find a short connector like that, I'll usually check it just to see and take the risk that I get stranded.
Alright, we see a small key for Turtle Rock in the free chest in Kakariko in the tavern, which is always in the back of the tavern because they can't get that entrance switched due to the mechanics of the game.
Yeah, there is no other north-facing entrance in the game.
Got the back of Skull Woods in, what was that, the Lumberjack, I think? Or not the Lumberjack, the Blacksmith.
Yeah, I believe that was a smith.
So one free chest in here, and then he's got to dip right back out. Korek found the uncle, and now he's going to fake flipper.
Yeah, early game, you're going to probably see a lot of death warps, both to exit easily, but also because if you enter a dungeon as a bunny and die, you will revive at the entrance to the dungeon as Link, so you can proceed through the dungeon and do things. And that's an important strategy early game before you find the pearl.
All right, we found Ganon at the magic bat, so just a hammer away from being able to access that. Not that you'd want to this early.
Yeah, I believe we saw Hera at the tavern front.
And there was ice in the shop down there. We found Pod at the castle.
Yeah, Pod is a nice early dungeon to find because the bomb's in the front like that.
Yeah, and he doesn't have a key, but he can get one. He can get that one free item, and then stock up on a couple bombs, and then just go to town after that. And we found Meyer in the sick kid's house, which is technically somewhat available with the hook shot, but they do need weapons to take care of the wizards.
Yeah, and that is a lot of early dungeons. That's Meyer, Ice, Hera, and Pod already.
Yeah, that's kind of unusual to see that many that fast. You know, they like to hide a lot. The sanctuary looks like it was in the well, I think. So Plasma Kappa is going to go ahead and take care of that, and Korek's right behind him. It's actually a pretty good placement for Sanctuary. Oh, it's always nice having a way back into Kakariko in case you get sidelined by a connector or something.
Yeah, one of the least pleasant places for the sanctuary is at the normal uncle connector, because that's basically useless.
Yeah, it's even better to find it in Pyramid, if you ask me, because then you have at least somewhat easy dark world access. Haven't seen a Pyramid drop in a minute, or for the sanctuary in a minute. Looks like we found the left side of Turtle Rock as well.
The left side of Turtle Rock immediately makes the Chain Chomp chest accessible in the logic. You can be forced to go backwards through Turtle Rock and get that chest with no keys.
Yeah, and we found Paradox Cave as well.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for Plasma. Korek has the hookshot. He'll be able to clear that immediately.
Yeah, you can do it with 3 bombs, but it's really dicey. Like, you have to be exactly on point with them, especially with so few hearts. Looks like we found Agnes Cave also in town.
Yeah, that's north of town, the fortune teller.
And they've also got access to a few different connectors at this point. There's 2 entrances off of Paradox they could get. There's I think what did you see, the brother's house earlier? I forgot to mark that down. We had Turtle Rock left, so they could get out of they could get. Well, actually, they can't do anything with that just yet.
Yeah, Plasma Kappa found the old woman, but that was a sort of trivial connector from south of Kakariko into Kakariko, the Grassman's house.
All right, it looks like Korek found the shovel in the basement of Hera. I don't think Plasma Kappa had a way to really do the switches when he came in, so he did not find those items. And he found a bottled fairy as well, so a Sit Kid is available if they find him.
It's a little hard to see on the restream's resolution, but I think that was Silver Arrows in the mushroom spot.
It sure was.
Yeah, Korek had to think for a second whether he wanted to go in Mire. It's a lot more appealing once you have a fire source.
Yeah, also he really can't do anything there right now. The Wizrobes won't die to bombs, unfortunately, so you need some kind of real weapon. Just a hammer, fire rod, sword, something. There's an ice rod in the Lost Woods that it dropped, I believe it was.
Yeah, that's behind Aghanim 1, so we'll see if Turtle Rock is required.
Oh, it was Aghanim. Ooh, that could be gross.
So Plasma Kappa found the laser bridge exit to Turtle Rock, and he's not going to try to do bootless laser skips, which are fairly unpleasant unless you have a good queue.
Although, fun fact... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
If you start walking as you see the eye blink, that's a pretty good cue. I had a lot of trouble with it till Chex Human told me about that.
Yeah, I can't get it even with that, but fun fact about that is the top and bottom chests on Laser Bridge are free if you don't have any equipment. You can just fall off the ledge and use the iframes to walk on through.
Alright, so there's the Kakariko well at the Vanilla Sanctuary.
So we're going to need a glove before we can get into there. I think Korok actually went through the old woman's house and it ended up being somewhere else in Kakariko, so it was a useless connector. But I kind of missed it a little bit, so we'll see.
Yeah, it's just to the southern area, just south of Kakariko.
Korok's going to show us what kind of goodies are in Paradox Cave, though. There's 7 free items in here.
That's interesting that he's taking that exit. I would feel like that's a big risk. I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, generally it's safer to get the items first. But he did find a second way onto Death Mountain, even though he's got that flute. So I'm guessing there could be something good up on Death Mountain.
Oh, I've never seen anybody do this. This is a shop in here where you can buy bombs and a potion if... I'm not sure he has the bottle yet. I think we saw Plasma get a bottle. I'm not sure who got the bottle. I thought it was Plasma, but the tracker says otherwise.
Yeah, he got it from Hera, so that was correct. Another key to Turtle Rock. Ooh, that ice rod. Mm. That being behind Aghanim 1, that could make this a very interesting scene. Because then it becomes a hunt for the two Castle Tower keys instead of the ice rod. A pod key and a lamp for Korek over there, and Plasma Kappa has demonstrated that there was nothing behind the bomb wall in Blind's hut, so Korek is safe there, even though he'll probably find a way to check it at some point.
Yeah, so something Chad is mentioning, these players are using Quick Swap, which allows you to switch items using the L and R shoulder buttons on the controller. That is allowed by custom in all entrance races.
Interesting. The bottle vendor had the big key to Hera, which I don't remember seeing Korek buy, even though I think he has the rupees for it. So, and Hera is right there, so that's interesting. They don't have a way to kill Mulgrim yet, but they do have a lot of access to Hera right now.
Now, I also don't remember seeing Korek buy that, and I know I saw him go into Hera.
He's going to go ahead and go for that one chain chomp chest, though. He also has 2 keys to Turtle Rock, so he'll probably get the middle chest as well, because you don't need to worry about the Poke key in entrance very much, so he can just waste one of those keys he's got.
Yeah, normally I like waiting till I have a weapon to kill the Pokey here, but with 2 keys already, I forget even how many keys you can get up. Maybe just 1 to get to Trinex is all you need.
It depends on where Laser Bridge is, but since they've already found it, they should be fine.
Yeah, you can go backwards from the Laser Bridge to get to the Roller Room chest. Well, that's valuable.
Yeah, that he just shortcutted some logic too, because he only has those 2 keys. But
yeah, that chest, the vanilla big key chest is logically blocked behind all 4 Turtle Rock keys because you could waste all of them elsewhere before getting that chest.
Yeah, it could be interesting to see just how far down the line he was supposed to get that glove versus actually getting it now.
And that's the dangers of the chain chomps.
Yeah, and he's got a fairy though. And we saw earlier, Korek checked the last section of the Exit Paradox, and it was Turtle Rock ledge, which is pretty valuable for knowing how to get to Mimic Cave entrance. But there was nothing on the other side of it, so it's only going to be valuable once they find the mirror and they can check that other entrance. So it's interesting. We have all this access to Death Mountain, and we haven't seen Korek go for it yet. I feel like with as much access as it gave them to Death Mountain, that they might just be able to find something pretty nice up there.
Yeah, and they have the lamp too, or Korek at least does. And that'll allow him to logically to rescue the old man in practice and have it be in sequence. So both the old man's item and the save warp, which is randomized, could be very valuable.
Pretty sure that, yeah, I was gonna say Plasma Kappa has a lamp too, because he was in Paradox Cave, and we can see on that he does in fact have it. I guess somebody found the oh no, that was a small key to Skullwoods, I think. No, it's big. Somebody says we found the big key to Skullwoods. I totally missed that. And a small key to Ice Palace, which isn't practically needed, but can be very helpful for routing's sake.
Yeah, you can get away with 0 keys in there, but it's very awkward. 1 key makes it much nicer.
If I actually have a small key, I'm more inclined to dip Ice Palace without a glove or hammer, because it tends to, there's more possibility of there being something in there in that case. Alright, so we're finally getting this Death Mountain clear. So far, not a huge amount, but we do have that hook shot. We can check the other side as well. And they could check the these two caves in the Dark World on this side of the mountain. You don't need the Moon Pearl to check them, and based on bunny logic, it could theoretically even be in the Dark World, like in, say, Hype Cave, talking to the NPC.
Yeah, I think he's more likely to want to hook shot over to East Death Mountain, though.
Yeah, I would definitely do that first and then come back with the flute and save it, for after that. And he's going to go ahead and do that now. And so far, it wasn't too much interesting over here, which is a little surprising. But with the hook shot, the other side still got, 4 entrances they can check. I didn't even see earlier, the crabs are dropping bombs, which is pretty handy.
So Plasma Kappa just found the Death Mountain Descent Cave, which is a fun cave to try to do lampless.
Ooh, and the boots. There's that good stuff I was talking about. That is pretty nice to have early. It's not awesome without a sword, but it's still pretty nice to have. And we found desert, so we got even more connectors to choose from.
And this may be why he gets the boots, to get this item on the torch. Yeah, so Koruk here is going to do some bootless laser skips. Ooh, and he gets the small key that Plasma would like to have right now.
Yeah, that's going to help him out a lot when he gets to where he's at. Or where Plasma's at right now.
That was a timely refill. I didn't see where... Oh, and that's the Turtle Rock big key.
Looks like one side of desert comes out near the lake, so that's not super useful. I think it was the left side.
Yeah, that was the left side near the lake, and I was surprised he took that because I don't think he finished checking all the entrances on the East Death Mountain.
Yeah, I think he left the bottom one. The bottom right one.
Right, so somebody said we found the map to Turtle Rock, and that's actually a very good item because we have the ice rod in the vanilla lumberjack blocked by Aghanim 1. So as soon as whoever has the maps in the Dark World will be able to find out whether we need to beat Aghanim 1.
Oh, who are we kidding? We know it's a crystal. It's coming. If there's ever a useful item in that cave, it's 100% needed every time.
Alright, so Desert Right exits at the bumper ledge, and that's an important place that you have to know to mirror. You can be required to mirror there for the entrance in the light world.
Question for chat. We only have 2 runners because it's an entrance race, so it's a little harder to follow with 4. But there are 13, I think, running this. Yeah, oh yeah, for our tracker, by the way, Korek does have glows, as we see him in the well. And he has picked up a big key of Eastern Palace and a small Palace of Darkness key for his troubles, I believe. We found
that glove was the vanilla big key chest in Turtle Rock, so Plasma's gonna have to get back there.
We see Korek using his flute to do a quick check on this bombable wall that he had to skip earlier, which, it's a good check to make. It's not going to get him anything in this case anyway.
So it looks like Plasma's headed back up to East Death Mountain using Desert as a connector. I think Korek going south, this will be the first time we've seen any of this.
There's Chicken Hut, so there's an item. Not much of one, but there is an item. So we already got the map and the compass to Turtle Rock. I'm not sure how well the logic works. They were talking about making the compass and map available in the logic before you had to defeat Turtle Rock, or like a dungeon, so seeing both the map and the compass for that is interesting. It sort of seems to lend weight to the fact that you might actually have to defeat Turtle Rock at some point.
Well, as far as I know, that hasn't been implemented yet. Or so if that's the case now, that's news to me.
I know there was a lot of talk about it. I don't know if they ever did it. It was kind of I don't know how I ever felt about that being part of the logic, but there was a lot of talk about them doing that.
So we have the item entrance for Spectacle Rock at the Flute 5 spot. There's a bomb jump Plasma could have done to get to the front of Spectacle Rock from there.
We see Korek doing his start on Death Mountain, so he'll have the boots before too long. And Plasma Kappa is showing us some new info on the eastern side as well.
So Korek is down to 1 heart, and he just entered a cave that has fairies. If you have the hook shot, you can hook shot over and get some fairies. So that might have been a good idea. Well, that's an even easier way to get fairies.
Death Mountain knows. So it looks like Plasma Kappa found the front of the old man's rescue cave in Eastern, which is not too useful considering that he's already rescued him. And then the last entrance in this area is going to be the mirror at the and Bombos at the Waterfall Fairy Cave.
Yeah, so that's a very valuable cave.
Yeah, they've already found a couple of places they could use it.
Yeah, mirror is probably the most important item in this mode, I'd say. And they then got Bombos, which together with a sword will let him get into ice.
Yeah, finding Ice Palace and Bombos early is usually some kind of indication.
Yeah, also the small key.
Yeah, that too. That's a lot of ice open if he finds a sword. I'd be pretty inclined to dip it even without the hammer and glove at this point if I found a sword.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to go too deep in there without the hammer and I think I'd just check the first chest and mirror out.
Korek's gonna go ahead and check these 2 Dark World caves. Not a bad idea. He's still only like a flute away from going back up the mountain to check the other stuff on the other side.
Have we seen the old man save warps yet?
I don't believe that anybody saved and quit him yet. No. Looks like Korek found the front of Hyrule Castle on the mountain there, which is a connector, so you can use it as a bunny and end up somewhere else. So that's part of logic to be able to do that.
Yeah, so the left side there exits at the race game. You will often be required to mirror there. That doesn't necessarily have to be a connector. You can be required to mirror there to get the race game item and the left side race game entrance.
And Korek was, when he came out of the race game, went back in, he was now Link, which is actually part of the logic as well. If you find a connector that does that and that has items attached to it, you can go back inside and you're in logic. Although they do have the mirror available, so it's in logic anyway. Well, actually, no, we haven't found a way to the race game in the Dark World yet, so. But he is skipping logic by going further into Hyrule right now because you're supposed to have the small key for any chest this far down, just in case it prevents lockouts that way. Plasma's putting that mirror to immediate use, checking out the Turtle Rock ledge. Oh, we found Mini Moldorm in Mimic Cave. This could be something pretty good. chat, yeah, we found a couple of connectors to Dark World. One went to Bumper Cave, so actually that means I was incorrect earlier. Yeah, because you can get to Race Cave from there. So we've got the Fire Rod in Mimic or Mini Moldorm Cave.
Yeah, and that's in the Mimic Cave slot, which you need the mirror to get to, which is at a fairy fountain at the Eastern Palace entrance. So Korik needs to get up there.
And I think that was another small pod key.
Yeah, Fire Rod and a Dark Palace key. So that's behind the mirror, so Plasma has a pretty strong item advantage between these two.
Yeah, the what was it? One-sided desert went to the Bumper Cave Ledge, so they have access to a pretty decent amount of the Dark World that way. And with the mirror, you know, there's a lot of places the Pearl could be that are not necessarily in the Light World at this point. So Korik finishing up cleaning up the castle with the lamp. Going into the sewers, Plasma has gone up to Hera and found Sahasrahla. Tower of Hera is the green pendant. They already have the key to that, so that's interesting. It was very available too.
The usual times for these entrance Keysanity seeds are somewhere between maybe 2 hours and 15 minutes and 2:45. That's sort of the normal range.
So we found a small key to Misery Mire in the sewers, which is not practically needed, but you need 3 small keys in Logic to get the items that are fire locked on the left side, just to prevent lockouts. So they're not going to need it, but it could potentially help easier routing.
Yeah, for Mario, you don't need any keys, but you'd like to have one to make it easy.
Looks like Korik made his way over to the right side of the mountain without even using the hook shot, because that's the other side of Hyrule Castle. There's his boots. And now he's going to be able to tell us what's on the right side of desert here, because he has the key that Plasma Kappa did not have. This is where small sequence breaks can really help you in the long run, just to find like little things like this desert small key, which can make you a little more efficient.
And Korik demonstrating there that you can mash the shoulder buttons. I think it's maybe just R to move when you're stuck in those sand pits.
Yeah, it looks like Korik's gonna go for those items on the right before he actually goes outside the exits. Doesn't want to get stuck. He doesn't have the mirror yet, which was up in Eastern Palace, I believe, which was the waterfall carrying cave. So now we have both small keys to ice, so that's interesting.
Plasma Kappa using a strategy I've never seen with the bombs on that guard.
So, yeah, that was pretty nice.
Yeah, so Korik exiting Desert Right, and it's the bumper ledge. So that's our Dark World access.
Yeah, he's going to need to find that mirror before he goes back there, or he's going to want to find that mirror before he goes back to that cave.
And Korik took an intentional death to Dungeon Bunny Revive. He entered as a bunny, but is now Link after he's died. So he can get back to East Death Mountain.
Yeah, also, I mean, he could, I think he might want to check the left side as well. Plus, you can't dash as a bunny, so it's a little faster. Oh yeah, he's going to go back to East Death Mountain. He hasn't checked all those entrances.
Yeah,
Did anybody... Sorry. Go
In
ahead.
desert, you have to pick up some pots to get from certain entrances to others, to get from the center to the sides.
Yeah, you can get all the way from right to left without, but that's also really slow. If I were him, I would have death warped just so I could have dashed across if I was gonna check the left too.
So Korek's going to show us where this connector goes. Plasma chose not to take this.
Did Plasma get a big key that I didn't see? Somebody's asking about a big key. Looks like Korek has found his way up to the dark Death Mountain area, which did not. Oh yeah, it was that Death Mountain Descent cave. And he
That's
found.
really unfortunate that he has neither the pearl nor the mirror. He could super bunny into that. That was the Pyramid Fairy cave, but he has to leave those two chests. All right, that's a convenient old man save warp once he gets the mirror, so he'll be able to clear out that southeastern shore area all at once.
Well, looks like he's going to show us where this connector goes to. Oh, just Ganon's tower. Interesting. Yeah, he's already checked everything up there though, so it doesn't do him too much good unless he wants to use that for like a quick way back up the mountain.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty good connector once you have the pearl and the mirror.
He's going to go ahead and check the Ice Rod Cave area. Since he hasn't found that mirror yet, he's just going to use the flute to his advantage to get over there a little quicker. Looks like Plasma Kappa found the back end of Super Bunny Cave, this end that you don't have to go through all the mess to get through. You can just go right to the items.
Yeah, and that was at the dam. I'm sort of surprised that this is our first time seeing it. I'm also surprised he didn't pick up the full magic pot just below that second chest there, because he has no magic right now.
Yeah, people tend to forget that's there, I think. Looks like we found our third Turtle Rock key as well, so it doesn't look like they're too deep. Korek found Bumper Cave in the Light World Ice Rod area, and it looks like it took him to the Dark World Ice Rod area.
Yeah, so all these early Turtle Rock keys sort of suggest that glove that Korek found in Turtle Rock is the intended power glove rather than the mitts.
Yeah, they only need one more. Korek's gonna go ahead and show us where what is Spectacle Rock Cave goes out, I think.
Yeah, this entrance was at Flute 5, and it looks like he's going to do the bomb. Well, no, he'll just fall.
I think Chad is asking about the Super Bunny access to chest. Yeah, that should be a minor glitch.
And the Spectacle Rock exit is the floating island. So I'm not sure we've seen what that item is yet, but that's a very valuable exit. That gets you basically everything on Death Mountain from there.
Yeah, we haven't been able to see that yet because unfortunately Korek's the only one that's been anywhere up on top of Death Mountain, and Plasma Kappa's the one that has the mirror.
So Plasma Kappa's going to leverage his cape and do the laser bridge here.
Alright, we just need to see how long is Korek gonna go before he goes up to Eastern Palace for that mirror. I don't think Plasma Kappa's checked many Mold Armor Vanilla entrance yet, so I think this is new.
No, we've seen this.
I must have just blinked then. Or just put it out of my mind since it was clearly unimportant.
So Korik is going pretty much everywhere except where he needs to get the mirror.
Well, the good news is that he's running out of spots to check in the light world, so it shouldn't be too long.
Have we seen the Lake Hylia Island item?
I don't believe so. At least not, or at least I must have looked away if they did look at it.
Yeah, I feel like I saw him walk by there several times, but not jump in the water to check.
It's an interesting. Go ahead.
Yeah, we found the blacksmith on the way to desert, a very out-of-the-way location for them.
And Plasma Kappa has not gone back to Turtle Rock left yet, so he is still without those glows. So each of them is missing something that's pretty nice to have. And we're running pretty dry on locations in the light world, so I think that the conclusion is that Pearl is going to be connected to something you find in the dark world at this point, or by mirroring from the dark world.
Yeah, with a mirror like that, I would expect it to be on something like the floating island.
Yeah, or some whatever you need to access it. Oh, Korek's going for the mirror right now, so he'll start cleaning up dark world locations and mirror locations pretty soon.
So Korik took the Spectacle Rock drop, and that exits at the floating island, so I'd expect him to want to get back there pretty quickly.
Yeah, because that actually accesses a pretty decent amount of entrances. He also knows how to get to Mimic Cave, Turtle Rock Ledge, Mimic Cave area, so...
Yeah, so I didn't see all of them, but in fact, Plasma Kappa has all 4 Turtle Rock keys. So this is absolutely our intended power glove.
Yeah, I missed the 4th one as well. And I blinked and I missed that item. I don't see it on the restream. Just a compass on the Lake Hylia Island, so that's nobody's going to be going after that unless they go after it blind, I guess. Yeah, I do believe Korik is going right back to Floating Island right now. Yep.
Maybe he'll show us the bomb jump this time.
I don't know. With mirror in hand, I think he's gonna just go straight back to Floating Island. Yeah, and then check out what's on the Floating Island. Check out the what's on the top of the light world, and then potentially. Well, actually, he might jump down to the middle cave, the East Death Mountain Cave in the Light World, East Death Mountain Ferry in the Light World, because he does know where Turtle Rock Ledge is, so he has a way to get to Spiral Cave with the mirror if he wants to do it a little more efficiently. Yeah. Okay, and apparently Plasma Kappa picked up the Turtle Rock Big Key at some point, and I definitely missed that as well.
Yeah, that was on the laser bridge, so they both have it.
Right, never mind. Now that you mention it, I did know that. Korik has found the East Death Mountain Ferry connector. Speaking of East Death Mountain Ferry, and it was at the top of Light World Death Mountain, and it goes out to King's Tomb, which is actually fine because he can get back in there, but he's just going to flute apparently. I guess he wants to try to get to Bumper Cave or yeah, I think that's where this one came out, was Bumper Cave. Or no, this was the ledge, I think.
Bumper Cave is desert right exits to the Bumper Cave ledge.
Right, okay. I think I forgot a couple spots on my map, trying to keep up. Oh, he might just be checking out here. Yeah, I forgot to mark what went out to Turtle Rock Ledge. That's what it was.
Yeah, I don't have that marked either.
That might have been Paradox, I think, actually. The bottom part of Paradox. So I guess the question is the Pearl like say at Sit Kid in the Dark World, or is the Pearl like mirroring at K45 or something like that? Or is it say an item that leads you to the Pearl? Like a sword to get into Ice Palace.
Yeah, right now we found Mire in Kakariko. We have a fire source and a couple Mire keys, I think. So that'd be what I'm suspicious of if I were these players. We can also get into ice with the fire rod.
Alright, Plasma has the fire rod. Korek's about to get it. So yeah, ice is pretty open already.
Yeah, I'd expect Korek to make the Mire play pretty soon here.
Yeah, trackers are your friends. Both of those options are kind of unappealing, but yeah, Mire's probably the more appealing one of the two.
And if you didn't see it on Korek's side, Plasma Kappa just demonstrated that you can go backwards through the Bumper Cave with just the hook shot.
Alright, and it looks like Korek is actually going to go to Pod first. Pretty sure that's what was up here.
Yeah, this is Pod. I don't think he ever bought a potion. He does have a lot of keys, though, so he's got a strong signal for getting here.
Yeah,
but I'm surprised he's coming here without a potion. I don't think he has a potion to do the right side.
Yeah, you can access a pretty decent amount of chests with 3 keys, though, so I could see the appeal of wanting to check this before you go to Mire. That and the early lamp puts everything, in the rupee room into logic. So.
Yeah, this is not strange at all that they do not have the Moon Pearl yet. In fact, they may still be under the average time that I feel like I get the Moon Pearl in these seeds.
I think my record was 1 hour and 49 minutes, but I think I routed kind of bad that week.
So Plasma's not going to follow the East Death Mountain Ferry. He may show some entrances that Korek skipped.
Oh, Vanilla Key, which now opens up, I think, Harmless Hellway and the Maze, maybe.
So Plasma, I think he's dropping to, well, at least this top entrance I think we haven't seen. And then this other one is Hyrule Castle right. There's a connector that Plasma hasn't taken, the Death Mountain Descent. I'm a little surprised he didn't try it there. And Korek showing us that distance from yourself to the bomb matters with the hammer jump. I think he was a little too far away from his bomb.
Yeah, pretty smart play to save his key in this situation, so if he wants to check another chest or just save it for later. Oh, there's the big key for Ice Palace, and I think it's actually in logic with that 4th pod key. So, maybe Ice looks better than Myra at this point, I don't know.
Well, I don't think... I mean, the Dark Maze is locked behind all of the pod keys, so...
Yeah, you might be right. Pod key logic is pretty twisted and hard to call sometimes.
And Ice is still somewhat unappealing without the hammer, so we're going to get the Meyer play from Korek.
They are right next to each other, so if Myers comes up dry, you can just pop over to Ice. And going to pod first will have gotten him that convenient Ice Palace key if he does end up having to go in there hammerless. Would be kind of funny if he came into Meyer and found a 5th pod key and then that was the intended way. So he's still a couple keys. I think Plasma Kappa found a second. No, Plasma Kappa's only showing one, so he's still a couple keys short of anything on the left here being in logic, but you still want to route these in when you're here because key logic is something you just want to work around. Sometimes it's just a little, it can be a little obnoxious to actually follow key logic fully.
Yeah, one of the big separations between or my opinion is, that what separates the good players from the sort of mid-tier players is being able to track what's in sequence and what's not, and make careful decisions about what you want to do that's out of sequence, and remember what's in, and go to where progression is if you can.
Yeah, it can be pretty important to like not get yourself twisted up with the sequence breaks to the point where you're just breaking everything and hoping for the best.
And we'll see if Plasma Kappa Super Bunny's here for these 2 chests.
Doesn't look like he's aware of that glitch, or he just doesn't want to try it.
Yeah, it can be a little awkward in entrance because the way the entrance shuffle works, it doesn't always spit you out 1 pixel below the sort of entry zone. So you can be forced to move up a little before mirroring to get the Super Bunny glitch. So it can be awkward for some entrances.
That could explain why I was struggling so hard with it that day. I didn't know that well, actually, I've seen it act weird on something, but I didn't know it was on multiple entrances like that. Did Korek ever check the shuttle spot?
Yes, he did.
Okay, I missed it.
I honestly don't remember if it was important, but I don't think so.
Oh, there's the moon pearl. Looks like Meyer was the good one. And it was in the pretty free chest in Meyer.
Yeah, so that chest isn't locked behind any Meyer keys, so it was available as soon as they got a hook shot and any weapon to kill. Oh, and there's a hammer too.
Holy crap. Well, there's legit Dark World access too.
Yeah, so now Ice Palace is very... Yeah, so Korek was going to flute away, but now he's thinking about Hera and Ice.
Yeah, because now he has the ability to full clear both, and why wouldn't you? I mean, Hera is the green pendant, sure, but you got that key super early, so you would 100% want to go for this early. Meanwhile, Plasma Kappa is unfortunately coming in here without a weapon to kill the mold arms, so he's going to have to double dip.
This is really unfortunate that Plasma's making the Ice play before Meyer.
Yeah, he's He's kind of going in all the wrong orders right now. It's which can be hard to figure in these seeds. It gets a little confusing about the really intended path. Sometimes you just gotta take chances and hope you get a little lucky. But there are like plays that are slightly appealing. Like Meyer would have definitely been a more appealing play before ice in this situation without the hammer.
Yeah, revisiting Meyer isn't very costly, but revisiting ice is. I wonder if that Meyer key will bait him to leave. Nope, too bad not.
According to her question for chat in Keysanity, the pedestal is basically always alive until you are until you're in go mode.
Yeah, with Keysanity, any of the Crystal Dungeon big keys can be on the pedestal. So, oddly though, I haven't seen a lot of pedestal seeds. I would have thought they'd be more common, but it doesn't feel like it.
What's interesting to me is nobody's checked the map to see if Turtle Rock is a crystal yet. Although I'm still basically just assuming it is at this point with that ice rod where it is. Looks like Korak is not going to go straight into ice. That's interesting.
I think they may actually have found the ice map, so he may want to check the map before he does it.
Well, he's got all the keys for it. I would actually not be surprised if it was a 5/6 crystal as fast as the key showed up at this point. Nope, nope, but it is a regular crystal. Oh, Turtle Rock is a 5/6 crystal though.
Yeah, so if I'm Korak, I want to get back to ice as soon as possible. Because I've got to do it and I can full clear it.
And what was that? Thieves Town was the other one that was shown as a crystal? Was that the other map they had?
Yeah, Thieves was a crystal.
Okay, I lost focus there looking at ice and T-Rock.
Yeah, so that means Aghanim 1 is required because the ice rod is in the Lumberjack drop, which is vanilla.
Which puts 2 more keys in the mix as something that could be anywhere. The 2 Castle Tower keys. Plus they have to find Aghanim's Tower, but you know they've got a lot of entrances left to check, so you know that could show up soon. Plasma just missing that bomb jump.
Yeah, so Chad is pointing out, and although, I mean, having played so many of these, I didn't even notice, but they have no swords yet. That is not at all unusual.
Yes. I mean, having to wait an hour for a sword it almost feels standard in an entrance these days.
So Korak almost skipped this entrance here. Easy one to forget if you're not used to playing this mode.
Oh, and it's Thieves Town, and he has the big key. Or no, he doesn't have the big key yet, but we know this is the crystal. So he will need to come back here later, so it's good that he found this. It looks like he has the Skull Woods big key. Oh, there's a sword. Speak of the devil.
And as he found that, Plasmas was finding the single Swamp Palace small key that locks all of the dungeon except for the first chest.
Oh, he's well, I was going to say he's probably going to go into Meyer now, but looks like he's not going to. He's going to want to do that soon. So it looks like this seed was a pretty intended thing for you to go into Meyer with just the fire rod to get that moon pearl. So I think they had basically cleaned up the rest of the world before that. I mean, they could have. Oh, GT and where the heck was he just at?
That is at the Dark World cave that's sort of north of Lake Hylia. So it's sort of interesting that they haven't found any Ganon's Tower small keys. There are 4 in the item pool.
Yeah,
You
and this
can
being a gaining goal, they're gonna be required to find them before the end, technically.
Yeah, this is a Ganon goal, so you must beat Aghanim 2 in this seed. Ganon will be invincible until you get all the crystals and beat Aghanim 2.
We did find the pod big key already, so that's gonna be something that's probably required. We don't know for sure if pod's a crystal yet, but you know, we still don't know. I mean, the odds are in its favor because we still don't know what two defendants are.
Yeah, so with 0 keys coming in, I think... Okay, well, there's one of the Castle Tower small keys that we needed. Korek should know not to check the map chest here, the double firebar room, because otherwise he won't be able to get all the way to Ice Armos, I think.
Yeah, you always sacrifice the firebar room if you don't have any keys.
Yeah, so he has to remember to orphan that part, but at least he knows not to check it.
Meanwhile, Plasma Kappa is doing bunny stuff instead of going into Mire, so he's going to regret that later. I wonder if he accidentally mismarked Mire.
Oh, we found the second tower key. I didn't see that.
Oh, well, that was faster than I expected.
Yeah, so unfortunately for us viewers, Korek is fairly well equipped for Ice Armos, but Ice Armos can be a very dangerous boss in this mode. You can be required to fight him with some horrible items like just Samaria or Burna and some bombs and the hammer or something like that. But in this case, Korek will probably use... well, he may just use the sword, maybe a little burn in there because burn is pretty fast.
Meanwhile, Plasma Kappa found T-Rock right at the arrow shop and did a really long death warp so he could check this one chest.
Yeah, really long death warp with a accidental fairy pickup of a bottled fairy that he tried to release.
Yeah, Burner Ice Armos is actually pretty fun. So he's probably going to weaken them as much as possible with that. He may even get most of the way down. Not quite.
Plasma Kappa found the dam there. What is that? That's the C-shaped house entrance.
It's just a small key to Skull Woods behind the Ice Armos, which is, again, not practically needed, but is more of a logic requirement. But you need both of them before the game considers you able to defeat Mopula.
And Korek had to orphan the Ganon's Tower big chest, which is something you have to remember, and that'll require him to use an extra Ganon's Tower key if he wants to check that. Usually you can get away with only finding 2, but I'll have to find a 3rd now if he wants to get it.
Right,
Or at least get it efficiently by going from the right.
Plasma Kappa is meanwhile up at the castle. Apparently he hasn't checked this trunk yet. That's a little unusual. But he may be going into pod. I don't know if he's actually been in there yet.
So Korek mirrored at the top of the pyramid to be able to check these entrances at the top of Hyrule Castle. He may also have lost his mirror portal there. But this is something that can be required in entrance, mirroring at the top of the pyramid to get to these. I didn't see what Desert Palace item that was. Anyway, you often have to mirror at the top of the pyramid to get to these entrances at all.
I think it was a compass. So he didn't find anything up here. Looks like Plasma Kappa has not actually been in pod yet, so he's gonna start clearing this.
And the pod BP was early in Guinness Tower, so he can't have that yet.
Yeah, he's gonna have to go through the whole sequence that Korik already went through with the Meyer situation first, which he was right next to Meyer earlier when he was at ice, so I just don't know if maybe he mismarked that. Or maybe he wants to try to find a sword instead of just using the fire rod, but he's going to be pretty forced to use the fire rod in this situation. Meanwhile, Hookshot Cave with a big key to desert. The Hookshot Cave was at the Dark Witch's Hut with a catfish. So the safest way to do this, oh, and the book. The safest way to do this is probably to go check catfish and then come back and see where the back end of Hookshot Cave is.
Yeah, unfortunately, since we already found the Old Man Save Warp in the southeast of the Dark World, we won't see a very dangerous fake flipper to try to get there.
So there's Plasma Kappa with his vanilla pod key. Oh, big key at Catfish. This guy is helpful today. Big key of GT. Yep, that's pretty required. A little unfortunate that he found it now instead of earlier, but based on where everything fell, it was pretty unlikely that he would have found that first. Now we get to see where the back end of Hookshot Cave lets out at.
I'm a little surprised he didn't go over and check the graveyard ledge before doing this.
Well, he does have legit Dark World access, so he can clear up the top of the Dark World in multiple ways. Because he also knows where Bumper Cave is, which would probably be the best way to get there, so that you can check that Light World spot too. But looks like he's about to go hookshot up there anyway, since the back of Hookshot Cave was pretty useless. And then just start looping the Dark World from that side, probably.
So when Korik beat Tower of Hera, was that a pendant or a crystal?
The green pendant, so he needs to turn that into Sahasrahla at some point.
Sahasrahla is at the Vanilla Tower of Hera entrance, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, so we're an hour in and we have 0 crystals, and that's pretty typical.
Oh, Korak is about to check this entrance that he already got spit out of. He just realized as soon as he mirrored.
And Skullwoods was in town, and we have everything we need to clear that. Just a sword and a fire rod. You can also do it with just the lamp and a bomb jump. So we should be seeing that pretty soon.
Yeah, Tower of Hera, green pendant, Tower of Hera, big key, super available. Sahasrahla at the Tower of Hera. It's almost like it was meant to be the green pendant this seed. Alright, so Plasma Kappa is gonna check the floating island, it looks like. He's just not feeling Meyer right now.
So Korik showing us another entrance that's easily forgotten by newer players. This is the shop where you can buy the red shield in vanilla.
Yeah, and he's gonna be able to, check this chest a lot faster than Plasma Kappa was able to. I guess he hadn't checked this chest yet. Check it out. Yeah. looks like Turtle Rock is quick, so, well, I just realized Korok has all the medallions anyway, so once they find mitts, that is an option to them if they still need to, if they're still searching for things.
Yeah, I'm starting to worry Plasma has mismarked Meyer.
Yeah, he's been right next to it a lot, and he does have a weapon to get in there, so well, he has the only weapon that he's going to be able to get in there before he gets Moon Pearl anyway, so he's going to need to go in there if he wants to make any progress whatsoever. Because all of the other weapons were Moon Pearl up. Meanwhile, Korek is going... Where is Korek going? Oh, he's going to... Well, I was going to say he's going to defeat Desert because he does have the Desert Big Key, but... well, he's having second thoughts and third thoughts about it.
Yeah, so what I think happened here is the Dark World entrance that's near this one was Ganon's Tower. And he meant to mirror and check this entrance, but doing all of Ganon's Tower sort of sidetracked him and he forgot. So
Yeah.
this is an entrance he forgot, and then when he went in here, he also forgot that he had the big key for at least a moment.
A question for chat. Burner was on the left side of Misery Mire, so no, it is not Pearl Lock. It is Key Lock, technically speaking, but it was not Pearl Lock. It was on the compass chest of Misery Mire.
We're going to see an interesting Landmo fight here from Korok because he doesn't have magic to use this Fire Rod.
Yeah, Fire Rod is definitely the only weapon available for Meyer. I don't think we know if Desert's spending her crystal yet, but it is fully unlocked with the small key.
Yeah, I would have felt like I had to beat Landmo because I think we got the big key and the small key, and we didn't find anything on the right side of Desert. And this is the other thing those items unlock.
Yep.
So I would have felt like this was likely to be progression, though it's just a heart.
And a crystal, so let's well, it's only his first crystal actually, but that's not really that unusual this late into an entrance seed. Sometimes you can go pretty far before you actually get a crystal.
Yeah, I feel like 90 minutes is a very usual time to get your first crystal.
Okay, so he's going through Desert, which I think means he's going to want to check Bumper Cave Ledge and the Light World version. Oh, he also hasn't checked his big chest either, actually. So, but he can check Bumper Ledge after he's done with this. Well, Plasma Kappa is making the not so appealing trek up to Flipperless Zora to see what he can find up here. And if he's doing Flipperless Zora, he must definitely have not marked Meyer or just doesn't realize that he should be able to get in there at this point.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if it was just out of the frame for me or if Plasma didn't even look at what the Zora Ledge item was, but either way, let us know if you saw it.
I saw the top possible edge of a key is what I saw. I don't know for sure if I saw that right. Like a small key, I think. But my eyes can be tricksy. Alright, so the Light World Bumper Ledge wasn't that helpful. He's gonna check Bumper Cave now. Oh, Plasma Cap is doing the thing.
So this will be Hammer, Moon Pearl, and Burna if he goes to the left.
And we saw Plasma Kappa run through a few of these entrances, I think, that Korek's currently running through, but he didn't have the Moon Pearl, so he was not able to check every entrance available. So Korek's going to be able to show us a little more info. And yeah, he's going to go ahead and do Skullwoods because he does have the fire rod, so he can clear all the way to the back and check that entrance back there too, which is pretty out of the way and unappealing to have to go back through Skullwoods to get to.
Yeah, an entrance, just because of the way the drops work out, the front of Skullwoods is only ever shuffled amongst itself. But it can be shuffled in such a way that you have to take a drop to get to the fire rod locked section, and you will have no way to get out. So you have to save and quit or mirror.
Yeah, that's another thing that makes it slightly unappealing to want to check if you don't have the fire rod. Because at least if you get locked out with the fire rod, you can make another check, but otherwise you're just stuck for no reason.
Yeah, so Balame is pointing out that in Keysanity, what you usually want to do in Mire is go to the left first and hit the switch, and then you can do the right side all at once.
Yeah, left to right routing in Mire is pretty nice. And Korek has found for us that it is not a fire rod locked, not a locked Skullwoods, I should say. You can get back out. He's gonna go and check the pedestal because he's right here, and it's not gonna be anything this time around. Doesn't necessarily mean they won't be forced to defeat all the pendants, but they won't get anything for it if they do.
And we got the good Skullwoods layout, so he didn't get locked in the back section.
So he should have just a couple more items to find. Well, actually, he has the big key, I think, so he has 3 more items to get. Oh, that was a pretty nice one.
Yeah, and with that, I think we're getting kind of close to go mode. We need the bow to get upstairs GT. We know where the ice rod is, and we can get it with the keys once we find Agneb's tower. And we maybe need the flippers to do swamp. Other than that, I can't quite read the tracker to see what keys we need.
Well, we don't have the Thieves Town big key. We need that. We may or may not need the Mire big key, so we don't know about that yet. And we do need the Aga Tower location, but there still are a pretty good amount of entrances left to check that they have access to currently.
And Plasma Kappa without a sword gives us some rage punches of the chest with the hammer.
I don't think we found Eastern yet, have we?
No, we have not seen Eastern. We do have the big key. And there are the flippers. And this is in the southeast Dark World, so this is right near the old man safe warp.
It's actually a pretty cute place to find the flippers, considering that normally that side is flipper. I always get a good chuckle when the flippers are on that side of the world.
No, we have seen the dam. Plasma Kappa found it somewhere, and I don't remember where it was, but Plasma has seen it.
Alright, and in the hammerlocked house of Village of Outcasts, Korek has found the bomb shop and found out that Swamp is our other 5/6 crystal. So, oh, and he found Eastern in the bomb entrance that you couldn't check. Their plasma couldn't check earlier because he didn't have the moon from. So that's a couple things down that we needed to find for potential go mode.
So this is the unfortunate reality of entrance that you very often find yourself having to do Eastern without one or both of the bow and the big key.
Yeah. Speaking of swamp, we didn't actually see swamp yet either, did we?
Korik found swamp, and I think very recently found it, but he has not found the dam yet, so it wasn't drained. He also doesn't have the flippers.
Well, he just found the dam, so he took care of that part at least. He found a master sword in the right side of Eastern, so that's nice. I definitely missed it if he found swamp though, so we'll have to see if we can find that on Plasma's side or when Korik goes back. So since he does know where swamp is, once he saves and quits to the old man to clear out that little section of the world, he will be able to focus swamp.
And that seems like a likely place for the bow at this point.
Yeah, there's 10 items in swamps, and it looks. Oh well, no, wait. I guess he does have the big key to swamp already. I missed that pickup.
Alright, so Plasma will be about to get Samaria here. It's in the big chest.
Yeah, that lets open a pretty decent portion of Turtle Rock too. They could basically full clear Turtle Rock at this point. Speaking of dungeons.
They can also clear right side of Ganon's tower. Plasma Kappa has not found Ganon's tower at all yet.
Yeah, the only thing they can't do at this point in Turtle Rock is kill Trinex, but that's still a few extra chests for them to check. I don't know if they've seen the front, but they have enough keys to go through to the front if they need to.
Yeah, they have seen the front. I don't remember where it was, but it was pretty early. Yeah, so they're in a rare situation where they sort of had a lot of options and have to decide what to do. Korik's finally going to clear Skullwoods here.
Yeah, and I don't think he hasn't done ice yet either, which we still don't know what ice is. Oh wait, no, we do. We do know ice is the first one. So he might just go ahead and clear both of those while he's here.
Okay, so it was Korik that found the dam, not Plasma Kappa.
Well, he had found it earlier. He just didn't have the pearl at the time, so.
Oh, yeah, okay, that's why he found swamp and it wasn't drained.
Master Sword and Fire Rod. This shouldn't be too bad of a fight. And it's already over. And there is a big key to Thieves Town, so that was something they needed. We do know where Thieves Town is. We don't have the small key yet, so that would open the big chest, so I wouldn't necessarily run right over there and do that, but we do have the ability to defeat it at least.
Yeah, I would think he'd do ice here.
Yeah, that would be the most logical play next, because he does have every key for ice and it is a crystal, so that's a lot of items available. Looks like Plasma Kappa is in Swamp, which, I guess it was above, it was in the Fortune Teller above the Village of Outcasts, so he's going to go ahead and do the whole thing. Looks like Korik accidentally fell victim to forgetting to he was on bombs. Meant to quick swap to hook shot first. We get to see 2 different dungeons at once at least, so this will be a lot of new information for us.
Unfortunately, Plasma Kappa came here without the... I'm not sure if he had only one of the glove or hammer, but either way, you need both to check all the chests that are locked by either, so he wasn't able to do the right side or cold stare.
Yeah, you're right. So we're actually only going to get, what, 3 new items out of here? So I guess we're getting most of our new information from Plasma at this point. I don't imagine Korik will be too far behind with the swamp being as open as it is right now. Although he's still looking for a couple of dungeons, so he may continue on entrances for
now. It looks like the tracker says that Plasma does not have the swamp big key, so he'll have to orphan that chest. Oh, this is an interesting play here, going to the back first.
Yeah, left side's pretty unappealing for a lot of people, so they tend to want to leave it till last. Korik with the fancy bomb strats in Ice Palace on the Pingator room. It's always a nice strat to be able to pull off.
Yeah, in Keysanity, when you still need so many items for go mode, I would feel really uncomfortable skipping the left side of swamp here.
He'll probably just dip right back in. At least I would assume so, with as much as he's missing. I guess it depends on how dangerously he wants to live. He actually doesn't, just realized he doesn't actually even have a sword yet. He hasn't found either of the ones that Korik found since he got his moon pearl.
Yeah, I was noticing the same things. We're gonna get a menu boss. And Korik found his first Ganon's Tower small key on right side of Ice Palace. Yeah, and there was the bow. Likely place for it. So if Plasma gets a little lucky and does catfish before that Ganon's Tower location, he'll be able to full clear it on his first visit.
Well, he's still missing basically all the keys, so he won't be able to really full clear it.
Oh yeah, so he'll need 2 to be able to full clear it.
He's gonna have to make choices on what he wants to skip. Now, okay, yeah, he does have the Eastern book key, and he's right next to Eastern. Did we see him go in there yet? Or was that just Korik?
Korik went in without the bow.
So I don't think Plasma Kappa went back to check that bomb entrance yet. So he depends on where he goes next. He might be able to go ahead and full clear Eastern and end it here in a minute if he goes the right direction. Yeah, so far Ice doesn't seem to be putting out too much of worth, except that Ganon's Tower key is pretty worth at this point since they haven't found like any at all.
Yeah, I think we found Ice was a crystal. I'm not sure Plasma's seen that, but if he did, he should be tempted to go right back in there.
So not getting anything from Argus except a crystal, and then we'll have to see if he is feeling brave enough to skip left side. I wouldn't be with as much as we're missing, but different strokes for different folks.
He may be tempted to leave it and come back once he finds the big key. And he is leaving it for now.
For chat, Bo was in Swamp Palace in the chest that you look up here. Spawn.
Yeah, the waterfall chest before Argus.
there's another GT key, so ice is pretty worth for the ability to full clear Ganon's Tower, it would seem.
Yeah, so that's where Plasma Kappa needs to go. Unfortunately, it looks like he's on a path that'll get him to Ganon's Tower before he gets those keys.
So if Korek just goes to Swamp here soon, he will be able to find that bow and full clear Eastern and Ganon's Tower after that. Is he going to Mire now without the big key?
Yeah, he'd been here before, and I don't remember him finding the big key, but he must have it if he's coming back here. That's the only thing that makes sense.
Yeah, I would assume so, because he can't actually get anything else besides the big key stuff. So we must have just missed that pickup. Was it on the right side of Ice and we just missed it?
No, he just forgot.
Oh. He was really excited about that cane. Alright, so now we just need for him to go to Swamp. But he's gonna go the opposite direction. It's not too bad to get back to though, so and I'm pretty sure he knows where it is, so.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, he doesn't have the flippers. He needs to get it from near the old man save warp.
Right. I'm getting those two mixed up. One has the flippers and one does not. Yeah. Trackers are your friends, guys.
Alright, so this is good. Plasma's on the track to get to Ice.
I'm actually surprised that Korek hasn't just saved and quit the old man and cleared that load really quickly. Oh, Plasma Kappa is going to be able to full clear Eastern and tell us what item we were missing off of Armos at least. Get our first look at South and Grove Cave. Considering how long they've had the mirror is actually kind of funny. And we got C-shaped house, but nothing of worth in there.
Yeah, so unfortunately, since we know so many crystals, I think it's like a 50-50 chance that this is a pendant that is Eastern.
Yeah, we have found most of the crystals at this point, so I would not be surprised if this was. Oh, there's the Thieves Town small key, so Thieves Town looks pretty appealing now too. We can do the full clear.
And that was at Stumpy?
Yep. So I wouldn't entirely be surprised if Korek just like loops up around the Thieves Town.
Yeah, so the only dungeons we don't know are Eastern Pod and Mire. 2 of those has to be pendant, so this is a 2/3 chance of being a pendant.
Ooh, Hype Cave, just sitting at the Swamp Palace entrance.
Yeah, so
another GT key, so we've definitely got the full clear situation now.
Yeah, one of the things you want to be aware of when you're playing this mode is how many of the 5-item caves you have left. That is Mini Moldworm Cave, Hype Cave, and the Thieves' Hut. And if you still have one of those caves outstanding, you want to prioritize checking entrances over known items. Or give some priority to it.
Yeah, so we're going to get a bomb post tablet check. I wonder if we're going to get the front plate check while he's here.
Yeah, he's going to stay in the Dark World, which is what I'd do. Because you can always flute and check that later.
Yeah, he's gonna... Nope, he's gonna... Wait, why is he checking right now? I think the only thing over here was Smith's, right? So he's just gonna end up being stuck out and have to... Well, he can just flute back in to 6 and get into his portal, though, so I guess that's smart. I'm assuming that's what he's going for, leaving the portal where he's at.
Yeah, I'm not sure he even peeked at the ledge item there.
I think he probably checked it when he fluted up here earlier. because he fluted up to 6 originally to. Oh nope, he's just gonna say quit. Okay. He had fluted to 6 earlier to check the desert area when he first got flute.
Yeah, so
Okay.
now he should get his flippers, and that'll take him to swamp and his bow.
Yeah, hopefully he decides to clear swamp before he goes to the Thieves Town area, which would be next to Ganon's Tower again. Alright, so we're almost to the Yarmos Knights and our pendant crystal information. Looks kind of like he's going back to Thieves Town right now. And GT also, which, oh, well, no, what is he doing? Oh, he hasn't checked this, he hasn't checked this or the hobo. And looks like Armos was the blue pendant and also didn't have anything of worth behind it, so it can safely be ignored. Oh, he hasn't done the Zora area yet either.
So it's between Palace of Darkness and Mire, which is our last crystal. I'm not sure what their level of knowledge is each about it. But once Korik gets the bow, he'll be able to clear pod and check that out.
So we have a lot of keys for pods, so I don't know. But, yeah, that could just mean something good is in the big chest or something. Small key to Tower of Hera, so that's an item, but it's not an item anyone necessarily ever wants to check. It's probably one of those things that you basically save until as long as possible, especially if you already defeated the dungeon. Interesting that nobody's turning the green pendant yet either.
Yeah, so unfortunately it looks like Korik is going to do the Thieves Town Ganon's Tower combination here before going to Swamp to get the bow.
He also hasn't checked this either, so he's got a couple entrances to check too, so that makes this all a little more worth it. And there's Ag Tower, which he definitely needs. But he only has the one key. Oh, so I guess we haven't found the second key yet then. So
Yeah, I thought I saw that we found the second one, but... And
well,
there's a map. That's a valuable map.
I know the first one was in Ganon's Tower, but I never saw the second one, so I guess we just never got it.
Yeah, and so once he maps, he'll be able to figure out what dungeons are left, and he'll know what he needs for go mode. Oh, that's strange. I thought he had that big key already. Must be... Well, I don't know who has what, for sure.
I missed it. Let's see, which big key was that?
That was the swamp big key that I thought someone had, but that doesn't make sense.
Well, he has it marked on his tracker, but I think it must have just been a misclick then. Well, he found Spike Cave, so this will put him off of being in this area because he's going to want to save a quit out of here. So maybe he will go to Swamp instead, since he got that big key as well. And I don't think he used the map yet to find out the information for pod, but there was a 5th pod key there.
Yeah, so he needs to map in the Dark World. That's valuable information for him.
Oh, looks like he's going right back to the same area though, so oops. I guess he's on that avoid swamp mood, which is pretty understandable. Swamp is kind of blah when you have to full clear. Good news is though, at the rate he's going, he could just end up being able to skip left side legitimately. Although it's something to worry about when you're still missing several items, which we don't know if he needs the Meyer Big Key yet. We do know he needs another Castle Tower key, and he would find the bow if he went to the back first. So that might only be one item that he needs for sure when he goes in, once he finds the bow.
So this will be a Ganon's Tower key for Plasma here. At least one.
Oh, here's the French all rock. Yeah, I had never marked that when they found it. So here's 3 more items he can reach. The Plasma's on his way. If he uses the hammer to continue on that way, he's going to end up at Ganon's Tower.
Yeah,
And,
so Plasma has none of the Aghanim's Tower keys, so we definitely have not seen that second key. The only one we've seen is in the Stalfos room in Ganon's Tower.
There's the 6th pod key, so that makes pod fully in logic. Are we gonna get a map to tell us for sure, though, is the question. Oh, there it is. Pod is the last crystal. Yeah, it's a Ganon goal. So they don't need the Meyer Big Key. At this point, if Korek goes into Swamp, the only thing he should need to find after that bow is the Castle Tower small key. Now, the unfortunate part of that is that can be anywhere except for in Aghanim's Tower. Well, and obviously on Trinex, since they need Aghanim's Tower to get to the Ice Rod.
So Korek's going to remember to get this map room chest that he orphaned, and then he'll go right. Unfortunately, he still needs the bow out of Swamp to complete Ganon's Tower here.
So it's not too bad to get to where GT is, so it's not like the worst thing in the world to be coming in here without bow. It's not, ideal, but it could be worse.
Yeah, that's actually too bad that Plasma didn't stick with jumping in the water there and taking that portal, because that would take him to Catfish, and he's got the Ganon's Tower big key.
Yeah, so he's going to end up in Ganon's Tower and be unable to clear that chest and have to get there, basically the same way. He's gonna have to work it all the way.
Well, what's really unfortunate for him is he's going to be able to check the right side, because he's going to go in there with Samaria when Korek didn't. So he's going to orphan the big chest, and that'll be pretty bad if anything important's in there.
Yeah, he's only got the one key so far too, so he's gonna have to make some choices about what he wants to abandon.
Well, the obvious choice is to sort of go right first. You get the key out of the pot, so you don't lose any keys that way, and you save a key, skip the map chest.
So unless the big chest is the key for Aghanim's Tower, though, I think it should be okay to orphan it for if he comes in there and can't get to it. Because I do believe that's the one thing left that we need to get the location of.
Yeah, and we don't need any entrances, at least for their own sake. We have We have all the dungeon entrances we need. So it could only be entrances with items. In particular, the castle key that could... Oh, we have unfortunately a forfeit from the race. I think there are 12 total that started.
Well, that was a nice little bonk hitter on that car. I think I would have never thought to bonk that direction.
Nice map.
Oh, that's just obnoxious. Alright, so he's gonna go for the full clear of Keystown, which having that small key makes pretty appealing. And then I think after this, he's probably going to want to do Swamp, because I think that's almost all that he has left at this point. I think he's just trying to do everything before he commits to full Swamp.
Yeah, he may have orphaned some chest and pod that he can go back for even without the bow. But
Yeah.
Swamp is what he needs to do.
Yeah, without the bow, Swamp would be the more appealing option than rather those isolated chests. Because, I mean, the bow is probably his next really major thing that he needs, and he knows that. So I would think he would go Swamp first. Never can tell, but I'm pretty sure that's what he would want to do. Oh, there's the last Ganon's tower key, so all that's fully in logic too. So now the logic could have the castle tower key upstairs. Of course, it could just be sitting on the left side that Plasma Cap escaped too, which would be unfortunate, but we'll just have to see.
Yeah, we found the Swamp Big Key in some out-of-the-way location that I'm not remembering at the moment.
It was in Aghanim's tower, the back, the behind the one key that Plasma Kappa hasn't gotten yet.
Yeah, so the only tower key we know about is in this tower. So it'll be a sort of convoluted sequence for him to clear everything.
Oh,
there we go.
Is. So if Korik goes into Swamp and just goes straight back, he can totally skip left side. He should be in go mode at that point. Unless I'm forgetting something, but I don't think I am. So Thieves Town before Swamp was pretty good, pretty handy in this case.
Yeah, he'll also be able to go mode past the stuff in pod that Plasma Cap is doing.
The Ice Rod is at the Lumberjack Cave, which is vanilla in this case, and behind Aghanim. So they needed a small castle tower Swamp key to be able to get to defeat Aghanim and get it.
Awesome is not the word I'd use.
Well, they actually know where the Ice Rod is, so I mean, I don't know. It's not awesome, but it's better than some situations.
So Plasma's on the path to Thieves Town, and this will get him a second sword too.
And I think he's actually not been again in tower, so he's going to end up with both castle tower keys once he goes in again in tower. So where is Mr. Colbert going right now? Oh, he's going to fleet away. Okay, I thought he was going to continue on the Dark World, and I thought he checked all that stuff already. This goes to Death Mountain, correct? What's up here that he hasn't checked?
Yeah, I don't understand what he's doing. This is the floating island, I think.
Did he never?
I'm not sure he's actually mapped. I'm not sure when the last time he mapped in the Dark World was. I'm not sure what his knowledge is of the crystals and pendants.
I think there was 2 items up here that he never got in the bottom of this area, but...
Oh, this is a green
he's gonna
pendant turn in.
Okay. Yeah, which actually ended up being useless in this case. Unless it has, like, Tempered Sword or something.
Yeah, so Korik only needs to go to Swamp to get the bow for Go Mode. And Plasma Kappa will probably get... Well, it depends on what he does in Ganon's Tower. But he'll probably get Go Mode out of Ice Palace, a Ganon's Tower small key. Oh, that is unfortunate for Korik.
Oh, please go to Swamp Korik. Don't fall for it. Don't fall.
Very often the mitts are not required in an entrance seed. It only blocks a few things, and sadly in this seed, all it's going to do is waste his time.
Yeah, he's going right back to check Turtle Rock right now, but he doesn't need it.
And he's thinking, great, I've got all the medallions. I can get in here no matter what it is. Oh, Plasma is actually... That's another Ganon's Tower key. So he has 2, and that's all he needs.
And I'm not sure Korik ever checked these 2 chests on the bottom of Dark Death Mountain. Because they found them as a bunny. I think there were 2 chests down there somewhere. So he may check those real quick too.
Yeah, they have both been inside Castle Tower. I don't have it marked on my tracker, but they both know where it is.
It is in the bomb shop, maybe? Oh, Hype Cave. I knew it was in that area somewhere.
Yeah, so Plasma Kappa, I think, is actually going to get Go Mode. Well, no, he doesn't have the one out of Ganon's Tower, so Go Mode for Plasma Kappa is going to be the Castle Tower key in the Stalfos room of Ganon's Tower.
Alright, so where is Korik going? Is it going to be Swamp? He's not going in the right direction to be going to Swamp. He's gonna defeat Aghanim, maybe? Oh, please, if he defeats Aghanim to go for Trinex and before Swamp, that's gonna be a little unfortunate. I mean, it won't waste too much time because he has to do it anyway, but hopefully he doesn't, like, keep avoiding Swamp.
Yeah, this isn't really bad for Korik as long as he stays on a path that has things that he needs to do.
Yeah, he's not getting to a time wasting point yet unless he starts checking the mid-items. Which there's not too much to check for the mids anyway, but Like he could do the Hammer Peg Cave, and he could do the Smith Chain, and he could do Ice Palace Entrance. That's about all that he would still be able to get out of the mitts.
Now, the two castle tower keys were, one of them was in Blind Cell, and the other one was in the Stalfos room in Gannet's Tower.
Yeah, so we're waiting on Swamp for Korak to get the bow, and GT for Plasma Kappa to get his other castle tower key, I believe, and then those two will be in go mode. But I don't think Plasma Kappa's actually even found GT yet. He's on his way there now, though.
Yeah, and diagnosing go mode can be a little tricky, so we'll see if he knows that he's in go mode once he gets it. Unfortunately, the smart thing to do here is to do the right side. Maybe you skip the tile room, but it'll take him a while to get to the Stalfos room.
Oh yeah, he didn't have that pod key either, but that's oh, no, he's gonna go left. So that pod key was what he also needed for go mode. Oh wait, does he not have the desert key? Where was that at? I've actually completely forgotten where the desert big key was, but he doesn't have it marked on his tracker, so that's going to be a problem for him.
Well, I was hoping to catch it there during the pause, but what I do remember is Korak got it very early.
So Plasma actually a little further off the go mode than we had mentioned. But I honestly can't remember where he needs to go to find that key. Unless he did grab it and we just didn't see it. But he's going to go to the firebar room too. So he's basically isolating right side, it looks like. Or upstairs, I guess, depending on which direction he goes next.
Yeah, and I'm seeing in his pause menu, he does not have the desert big key.
Well, no, actually, I think he can still get right side and upstairs. He seems to have keys. But he has to go right side and then get that key from there and then go upstairs. Oh, he hasn't got a sheet of crap. There's so much to keep track of. Yeah, so he's pretty far off, so he can't even go upstairs. Yeah, so Plasma is a little ways away from finishing this film. He's got to go to Catfish for sure, and then he's got to go wherever the heck that desert big key is. And Korak is unfortunately going to Pond before Swamp.
Yeah, Korak being in here, I think he just hasn't mapped.
He also may be falling victim to the never do Swamp until you absolutely have to feeling that people tend to get. People do find Swamp to be pretty unappealing.
Yeah, so now he's realizing that he should map. Yeah. So I think he's on the right track now.
Yeah, I think
he should map here and then go straight to Swamp.
Yeah, I think he finally remembered, hey, I've got the entirety of Swamp available to me. Bo is in the back of Swamp in the spawnable chest in the waterfall room. So
yeah, there he goes.
So he could skip left side and just go straight back and be in go mode.
Oh, that's interesting though. He didn't have the swamp map, so he doesn't know.
Yeah, so he would actually be between swamp and mire, I think, from the info that he has. But I think swamp is still his most appealing option, so I think he's still gonna do it.
Well, since he knows he has to do Turtle Rock, he's gonna hope Trinex has something.
Yeah, and actually, Laser Bridge is right next to the ice rod, so that's pretty good news. I really wish I could remember where that Desert Big Key was, so we know where Plasma Kappa has to make his way to, besides Catfish.
Actually, I think I'm gonna go take a minute and check the VOD and see if I can figure out where it was.
Meanwhile, we see Korek doing the not super appealing, but still fairly doable hammer Master Sword Trinex. He's got half magic, so he can spam the rods a little bit and not have to worry about hammering as much, so it's not going to go too badly.
Yeah, the fact that they've only found 2 swords and they've cleared so much, that's sort of strange.
Yeah, there could easily be one upstairs. Meyer Big Chest likes to hold swords, I feel like, but they haven't found the Meyer Big Key. Could just be here on Trinex. We'll see what Trinex is about to give him. So overall, they have they have the Smith Chain, they have the Hammer Pegs, Ice Palace Entrance, 2 items in Mire that can have a sword, all of upstairs UT. What else haven't they checked? I think they've mostly checked all the entrances that aren't MITS related. Well, they've got items in pod they haven't obtained yet, so... Well, I think Plasma actually got most of those already. So, it looks like Korek is definitely going to go right back into Swamp now, so he should get Go Mode here pretty soon. There could be a sword on left side Swamp, that was skipped. Hopefully he'll go straight back and not the left side. He is only missing the bow, so it would be a bit of a time save if he were to go. Oh, this is where the Desert Big Key is. It's in Hookshot Cave. I'm remembering.
Yeah, Hookshot Cave is a really gives us a few slashes to the map.
I didn't even see him find it, but I just remembered.
Yeah, it's a common one to forget that you have to go back to Hookshot Cave when you find the hookshot much later.
So once he goes to Catfish, I think he's in Go Mode, right? And he is right next to Catfish, so I think they're actually going to get Go Mode not too far off each other. Of course, Korek's already done Trinex and Aga Tower. It won't take him very long to do pod. Yeah, it won't take him very long to do pod. Yeah, he's got Desert over him too. So they're gonna get Go Mode basically. Oh, he hasn't done Ice either. Ouch. Yeah, so he's actually got a lot left to do. Alright, so I'm gonna go straight back. There's the last Meyer Key. Yeah, he's going straight back. So he's gonna get his Go Mode in the back of the swamp here. Meanwhile, I think Plasma actually does have his Go Mode, But he's also got to do, you know, a lot of dungeons. Not actually sure where he's going right now.
Yeah, I'm not sure he's realized go mode yet. I think he may also be just checking the pedestal for the meme.
So I think we're actually sure that he's in go mode this time.
Oh, he just wanted the magic.
Yeah, makes sense. And he's got it because he's about to go to Ice Palace. Yeah, that makes sense.
That's actually an interesting question. Did we ever find the potion shop?
I don't know actually. If we did, I think I forgot to mark it.
So both of these players are now in go mode.
Yep. And then, but Korek just has to do. What does he have to do after this? He has to do pod, but he can go straight to the boss. So he has to do Ganon's Tower upstairs. So he's pretty close. Plasma still has to finish ice here. He has to go finish desert. He has to go finish pod, and then he has to go upstairs Ganon's Tower.
Actually, I think at this point he doesn't know whether he's in go mode. I don't think he knows whether Eastern or... I mean, go mode is going to be getting this crystal, and that'll tell him that Eastern and Myra are pendants.
Yeah, so he should definitely know he's in go mode at this point. And if he didn't get a crystal here, he probably would have gone straight down to Eastern to check whether that was a crystal for the same info. But now he's got that crystal, so he should know that he can go ahead and do his last couple dungeons.
Yeah, so for Korek, the only things left are pod and upstairs Ganon's Tower.
Yeah, and he's got all the pod keys, so he can go through the front door. He can go straight to the back. He hasn't. I don't think he. Did he ever do that inside? I think he's left like 4 or 5 items in pod, but yeah. Oh, nice use of the castle tower to set himself up a portal. Well, I guess he didn't have much of a choice to get in there anyway. But to get into pod, but he's gonna be able to go right to GT, go back to the dark room, go right to GT from there. So that's pretty handy. Alright, Plasma is skipping the big chest, so it appears that he does know he's in go mode.
Yeah, Korek's not going to check the right side for swords. A sword would still be pretty nice to find at this point. But those two chests are kind of out of the way.
Alright, and Korek's actually going to finish this with a pretty good time. So overall, the seed is not very bad seed. It's only 203, and he's only got Helmasaur and the top against Tower.
Yeah, he was sort of late to the mirror. I wouldn't be surprised if someone else in the race finishes before him, because you could have gotten the mirror pretty early and then got the pearl pretty early.
And he also would have got the bow kind of late, considering. Yes, Plasma does need to kill Aghanim as well.
Yeah, Plasma's in go mode, but has quite a bit left to do. He needs to beat Desert, he needs to beat Palace of Darkness, he needs to beat Aghanim's Tower, to get the Ice Rod, to beat Trinex, and then do upstairs Ganon's Tower.
Meanwhile, Korek has now whittled it down to just the upstairs again. Its tower and cannon.
Plasma is actually sort of in an unusual situation. It's sort of rare to have go mode and have a lot left to do. Often you find yourself looking for one or two big keys at the very end and just those bosses to finish.
And Ganon was at the Smith, I think, or the Magic Pad, I mean. So you'll just have to mirror and flute 2, 3, and jump in there real quick to kill Ganon once he gets upstairs.
Yeah, Plasma definitely knows he's in go mode, skipping a chest there in the tower.
So I wonder if Korek's gonna check any of the chests on the way up to see if he gets his sword.
Yeah, I would be very tempted to do that.
He doesn't technically need it, but Tempered would save an awful lot of time if they were sitting in one of those chests that are pretty easy to grab.
And there are 2 swords out there and so few chests left that he hasn't opened.
Yeah, it would be pretty unsurprising to see a sword upstairs at this point. Of course, you know, it could just be ironically on left side swamp or the back of pod that they didn't have to do.
So with quick swap and entrance, it's tempting. Some people like to switch to the medallions to take care of some of these rooms, since you don't have to pay the cost of menuing.
Half magic and fire run's pretty appealing in the gauntlet, I think. Because you can waste a decent amount of shots and still have enough magic left over to do what you need to do up here. Now, without half magic, maybe.
Half magic was in the pod big chest, so Plasma's never going to get that. I didn't remember it from Korek's fight, but it looks like we have a fairly unfriendly Aghanim in terms of blue balls.
I think he came kind of close to missing that door opening there. Took an unfortunate fall there after he lit the torches. Oh, there's the mushroom, and he's gonna skip the right side chest. So I guess he's semi-looking for a sword, but still trying to save some seconds here. Well, you're gonna get a little fake powder for the fairy there. That's pretty good. Oh, there it is. Tempered sword just saved a lot of time right there.
Yeah, I didn't see it, but Korek demonstrated that you can do fake powder with the powder. When you have no magic, you just do the same thing as fake powder, but you use the powder, and it will work when you have no magic.
Yeah, pretty handy if you find yourself in a situation where he was. with wanting to get those fairies. I believe we have 12 people still in the race. We have one forfeit. Nobody has finished quite yet. Korek is very close.
Yeah, 13 people started the race and one has forfeit.
Korek only needs to defeat Ganon, so we'll see if he makes it to first place or if he gets sniped. We do have a lot of entrance regular runners in this. He's got a chance here of having to beat one of them for the title here. Alright, so incoming Ganon kill, it's only 211, so this is going to be a sub 215, which is actually great for entrance Keysanity. So this was a pretty nice seed to showcase today.
Yeah, the mirror wasn't really buried, the pearl wasn't really buried. Glove was pretty early.
Yeah, I guess technically the glove was a little more buried than it ended up being, because you can skip a few off of that chest pretty handily.
It's actually an interesting question whether that glove on Ether could have been there first.
I don't think so. I mean, I guess it could have been if you took a really weird route. But I think like the route most people would take, that it would end up being a miss. Oh, Korek got first. All right.
Speed Gaming doesn't like us to announce finishes before they see it on stream.
Yeah, I forgot. I forgot about the delay. It's been a minute.
Yeah, so that's first place with a time of 2:12 and 52 seconds. And we'll see if we can get him in here for an interview.
So meanwhile, Plasma just has to, he's got to defeat Deserts. He's got to kill Helma, I think, still. And then Upstairs GT.
Alright, so we're joined by Korek now, our first place finisher. How are you feeling?
Honestly, I'm a little bit surprised. I didn't think I was playing my best for a lot of that, but you know, it's always good to get a win, so I'm happy about that.
Yeah, we saw a little bit of sketch out of you, like going to the Meyer Big Chest without the key.
Yeah, I think getting the cane, I'm like circling the world. I'm like, okay, we're gonna get Meyer done, we're gonna get Ice done, and then it never even occurred to me that, yeah, I didn't have that Meyer key, so that was a little bit of a dumb. But if that's the worst thing, I guess it's not too bad in the grand scheme.
And we were worried for you for a minute when you got the mids before you went back to Swamp, and then you went Pod before you went back to Swamp, and we were kind of concerned you were gonna put that off a little too much.
Yeah, you know, I probably shouldn't have even gone up there when I did, but I had 5 items up there for so long, and I finally just got too paranoid about them, so I went and got them, and then those mids made me even more paranoid, but I had dungeons to clear, so I stayed with the plan, and it worked out.
So why'd you go to Pod for just the big chest?
I had the big chest and vanilla big key chest. I mean, I landed on the pyramid basically, if the bow was in pod and I didn't do it when I was on the pyramid, I was going to last location it. So it was kind of just a trade-off. Like it's a low percentage thing, but at the same time, it really mitigates some, spending an extra 30 minutes on the seed. So that was the thinking there.
Yeah, overall pretty generous seed. A 212 finish is pretty nice for entrance Keysanity.
Not too bad.
How do you feel about when and where you found the mirror? That was at the Eastern Palace entrance.
Ah, man, that was a little bit of a pain because I had already found so many connectors. But, I know some people do route that as their first little bit in, the game. But getting the flute and getting the hook shot where I got it, it was just not really on my mind to go to that right side of the map. So I did know places to go with that mirror. So that was a plus anyway.
And then you were late to flippers, and I got confused on the restreams. It felt like somebody did the dam and the swamp out of sequence. Somebody hadn't flooded it. Was that you?
The first time I found swamp, I had not yet found the dam, but I didn't have flippers yet either, so... I circled the top of the world. Swamp Palace was above Village of Outcasts, and I think the dam was in Vanilla Sea House.
Yeah, how'd you like the flipper location?
Yeah, that's the second time recently that I've had flippers over there. I think last time you were in that race, Ressi, where there were flippers in GT that was over there, maybe behind Ice Armos or something. That was fun.
Yeah, I always get a little amused when the flippers are in that technically flipper lock location.
So we have our second place overall finish. Dracaris, the time of 2:17:25.
And meanwhile, Plasma Kappa here, looks like he's an upstairs GT. Or wait, is he an upstairs GT or is he? Yeah, he's an upstairs GT. That Medusa. And then I guess he still needs to kill Helmosaur, and then he can do Ganon.
Yeah, Plasma looked like maybe forgot Meyer. He was very late to the Moon Pearl. He spent a lot of time as a bunny in the Dark World.
Yeah, it was interesting because we had the boots and the hook shot fairly early, but we didn't have any, well, at least I didn't have any way to kill the Wizards for quite a while until I got that Fire Rod.
Yeah, and you guys had basically full cleared everything, so that Fire Rod was the only available weapon for getting into Meyer at that point.
Yeah, the other thing that Plasma had a little trouble with is he forgot to go back to Hookshot Cave for a long time for the Desert Palace Big Key. Which I think might have been his go mode.
It was a GT at Catfish, but that was on the way to it. And we have Pink Kitty Rose finishing in 3rd place. With a 2:18:57, so we're seeing some good times for this year. So Plasma Kappa routing the way he is actually pretty handy because he's going to get spit out on the pyramid. He can mirror to do Helmosaur, and then he can go back in his mirror. Oh no, that's all he has got to do. Then he could flute from there and go to Ganon.
Yeah, how did you feel about the swords, Korik?
It was fine. Like, I was checking for swords upstairs because I'm like, man, I'm not playing well, and I really just don't feel like doing Master Sword. So I wouldn't normally open the Helmosaur chest there, but I'm like, let's just do it.
It's too bad you didn't open the validation chest there. Plasma Kappa found the Meyer key you were looking for.
Let's hear it for Bo Go mode.
Yeah, Bo. I actually kind of forgot for a second that it was Ganon goal. I'm like, okay, we're done with pod. Oh, yeah, all right. It was fairly convenient where GT was, though, based on where pod was, so especially since we had done Aga. So not a big deal.
Alright, so Agatu is down for Plasma Kappa. He's gonna need the mirror, kill Helma, go to cannon, and then call it done. You know, I guess unless he wants to just, you know, do an all dungeons run and go to Misery Mire real quick, because he can just kill everything now.
All right, guys, I'll let you finish up the restream. Thank you so much for the commentary and the tracking and the restream and all of that. And I hope everybody has a good one out there.
Yeah, all right. Good game, and congratulations on the win.
Yeah, GG.
Thanks again.
So it should be short work to take care of Helmasaur. So I think Plasma Kappa can sub 230 this.
Yeah, it should be less than 5 minutes for him. Yeah, 187 items. That's, I guess that feels about average.
Yes, for an entrance seed. Being able to do that in 212 is definitely not average, considering the layout that you can be faced with, but that's a pretty standard item number in these modes.
There wasn't much you skipped either. I mean, we can sort of name it, right? It was the left side of Swamp, the right side of Ganon's Tower, the right side of Pod.
Ice Palace entrance, Smith Chain, and Hammerpet Cave, whatever was in those two entrances, and then that Smith Chain, and he never turned into Mushroom. And the back half of Misery Mire, since that key was technically available, I guess. The two items in Mire. I'm assuming the potion shop was either Mitzlock or in the Big Bomb or in GT. So what about four locations left it could have been in? I'm not really sure what other items, caves, or caves of interest we were missing with the potion shop, I think. Alright, so 7th crystal for Plasma Kappa. And now it's onward to Ganon.
Yeah, off the top of my head, we found all the 5-item caves and all the 2-item caves, the 2 fairies and the Mire Shed. And we found Sahasrara. So those were sort of all the major item entrances.
Yeah, we found Chicken Hut, we found Spike Cave, Mimic Cave. Found Sick Kid. Boots had, we found the pretty sure we found Peg Cave, we found, what is it, South Grove Cave, that's where the boots were. Yeah, I really can't think of much we were missing in the items department. Alright, Plasma Kappa already into phase 3. So this is definitely going to be a short fight here. Silver arrows, tempered sword. It's no big deal. like how specific the entrance hints are for silvers, although if you haven't actually found the entrance there, and they're not as helpful.
Well, the usefulness of those hints is a little mixed. I mean, sometimes it's, did you find the silver arrows underground?
Alright, Ganon goes down for Plasma Kappa. And he has finished in 4th place. With an official SRL time of 2:25.47, so still sub 2:30. That's a pretty nice time for entrance Keysanity C.
And we'll see if we can get him in for an interview. All right, so there we go. Plasma Kappa, good game.
Thanks, Moon Pearl.
Yeah, you were kind of late to that. Did you miss Mark Meyer, maybe?
No, for some reason I thought Wizrobe could only be killed with the ice rod.
Yeah, we inferred that Fire Rod was the only weapon you could have got to be able to kill them.
Yes.
Can they actually be killed with the ice rod?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
We'll mention that once is the only way ice rod could be ever required. For some reason I thought that was the only other way to kill them.
Huh, I didn't know that one.
So how'd you feel about it other than Moon Pearl?
Oh, well, that just kind of went after I got over that hump.
So you were happy with the mirror, nothing felt out of the way?
Oh no.
And how'd you feel about that early Ice Palace dip?
Oh well. It's like, okay, so there were things that could have been useful, I think. So it was alright until they were less useful.
And did you have trouble with the swords? I forget what the sequence was for you.
I had to MS almost everything. So
And how were you feeling about that left side swamp skip when you did it?
I was like, oh, I'm super behind. I think I will YOLO. And I YOLO'd.
Yeah, it turned out to be a good call for time save. It was actually interesting between you and Korek. Korek went into Ganon's tower without the bow and basically cleared it all, and then you went in there without the big key and basically cleared it all.
Yep.
Oh, that was the other question. Did you miss mark or otherwise forget to do Hookshot Cave?
No, I found it like way late in a DP big key. Found it when I was running up from GT, and I go one screen right and get the DT big key from Catfish for go mode. Yeah, as far as Hookshot Cave leading to that junk ledge, I did forget that.
And it's interesting to see that we didn't actually see the Mire area at all, which is pretty unusual for entrance. It was actually available. Korek found the mid to Ether tablet, but he didn't end up putting those to use for too much before he went to go get his go mode, so he didn't get led too astray. I actually forgot that we didn't see any of that when we were discussing what was missed earlier.
Oh yeah. It's like, look, I don't want to check this. I was gonna. And I was saved by the fish.
And when you found your GT big key for go mode, you still had a lot left to do. Do you play a lot of entrance? Because that felt unusual for me, having so much left to do after go mode.
I play a bit of Entrance. I was like, okay, what's the sanest way to do all this? And I came up with the sequence. Saw there. Suppose I could have done something. It's weird returning to the pyramid twice in that sequence. It was mostly just stringing those together.
All right, well, good game. I think I'm going to have to duck out just a little bit early before the credits end. Thanks for racing, and thanks for the co-commentary with Citador.
Thanks for all the racers. Thanks for the trackers. Thanks to Hockey Type for co-com, and thanks to everybody watching. And thanks to Speed Gaming for throwing these dailies. And I think that that's about it. Give it another minute to see where these credits end, but I think that that'll be it for us after that. So everybody have a good day.